Hey, it's Connie from Prosperity Finance. I hope you're well. Sharing the best financial tips so that you can be more successful with achieving your financial goals. Today, I'm going to share with you how maternal leave or parental leave is going to affect your borrowing capacity. Well, recently we had a number of inquiries. They all share a common theme. People about to start their parental leave and having a family, or they are still on parental leave, and they all want to borrow to buy their first home. Well, a lot of people are quite surprised that actually their bank wouldn't consider the income if they are in that situation. So I thought it's really important for me to share this because you might, or your family, friends might be in that situation, and you probably can get a quite different answer. And also, if you plan to borrow money to buy your home, it's good to have a good plan in place so that you can, track your goals. So when you're about to take on parental leave, having a family, or you're still on maternal leave, unfortunately, most of the banks wouldn't consider income unless you return to work after maternal leave. Well, the main reason is it's really hard to say what is your ongoing income is after return to work. Now, you may not go back to work. You probably have a plan, to go back in 6 months' time or 12 months' time. But the reality is, you probably, want to spend more time with your baby. You want to delay the return to work. Or maybe you go back to work as proposed, but your working hours is quite different. You might work part-time, but before having a baby, you work full-time. So it's hard to say what is the actual income going to be once you return to work, or whether you return to work. Normally with maternal leave, plan and reality can be quite different. So that's the main concern from the banks. They want to make sure you can service the loan. So therefore, they need to know exact income going to be after return to work. So they want to wait. Well, the good news is that BNZ has a really favorite policy in terms of parental leave. It doesn't matter if you started maternal leave or not, they would consider your income if you have been working for your current employer for at least a year and you are a permanent employee. They want to know what is your plan, when do you want to return, and what is your work arrangement after return. And then maybe consider how you're going to service the loan while you're on maternity leave. You might have some deposit or unused revolving facility, or your parents going to help you, whatever the plan is. And make sure, even before you go back to work, you can still service the loan without incurring any financial hardship. And then once you return to work, what is the plan with the childcare? How much you're paying, who look after the little one, and what is your working hours. So it definitely can be done. Just need a bit more detail and more kind of thoughts and plan. And they also need your employer letter to confirm your plan. So if you have these, then it's more likely BNZ can consider your income while you on maternal leave. So it's not too bad, but unfortunately, most of other lenders are really reluctant to consider your income before you return to work. Now, there's another aspect that has a little bit negative impact on your borrowing, which is additional living expenses. Well, as you know, the little one costs a lot of money, right? Probably the main cost would be childcare. And other than that, there's baby products, baby food, baby clothing. So from the lender perspective, when you have additional person in the family, they will allow extra living expense. Therefore, it will reduce your disposable income, and as a result, you will borrow less. So, yeah, the income side and expenses side, they all kind of affect your borrowing capacity, but income have more influence than expenses. If they can't consider your income at all, probably can't buy a property because, it's just not enough borrowing from the bank to buy a property. So, but there's a hope, right? So we can see how the BNZ can help you. So if you are in that situation or your family friends are in this situation, I'm more than happy to have a look and see what would be the outcome for you. Your own bank may not be able to help, but we have more options. So I hope you find this useful, and thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.